Mesdames et messieurs, je vous demande d'accueillir Alexis Saint-Jeanne pour A Tube Story.
Make sure you've seen my short movie, A Tube Story, before you watch this video, because this is the making of and you don't want to be spoiled, trust me. The link is right below in the description. So this is the story of how I made a short stop-motion movie and how it got screens in not one, not two, not even three, but 6 theaters around the world and still counting. But before I tell you how I did that, let me take you back to the dark times of 2020.
Mais quel est donc ce mal mystérieux qui se répand en Chine?
Un coronavirus.
C'est du jamais vu, des millions d'habitants placés en quarantaine.
The urgent message to stay home appears to finally be getting through.
J'ai décidé qu'il fallait retrouver, à partir de vendredi, le confinement qui a stoppé le virus. Restez au maximum chez vous, respectez les règles.
With the lockdown starting again, the fear came back. At that time, everyone was scared. The media kept counting the number of deaths and telling us only bad news. Nobody knew what would happen. The future had never been so unclear. I knew I needed to start a new project to stay sane and keep myself busy. I needed to do something, to make something. During the first lockdown in March 2020, I worked on a 2D game project. But this time I wanted to make something different. I wanted to tell a story. And little did I know that an idea was already on its way. So just like any project, you start with paper and a pen. After thinking about it, I knew I wanted to tell a story about something deep and spiritual, something about the acceptance of death, but with a light tone and humor. And that's when I came up with the idea of making a stop-motion movie. Now, the problem was I'd never done anything like this before. I had little experiences with stop-motion. I did some Lego or claymation when I was 10 years old. But clearly, I had never done a proper short movie with a story, a meaning, dialogues, etc. And obviously I had no fancy equipment like rigs or rails and no one to help me. So I knew that if I wanted to make this project a reality and not quit, like I did with dozens of previous projects, I had to make it simple, easy, quick, doable alone and within a month or so. And obviously it's not what happened. It was not that easy. But with this in mind, and thanks to naivety, I decided to take the leap anyway to see where it would take me, and I quickly wrote something to get started. Once I had a decent script, I spent hours brainstorming ideas to turn it into a proper story and dialogues to convey emotion and a moral to the story. That's where I invented all the characters and created the storyboard. Since I was doing everything alone, I had to be extra organized and focused to keep the project moving forward. At that point, the hardest part was keeping the project realistic and feasible, because it's easy to have a good idea, but how can you know that you can bring it to life with your time, budget and experience? Well, the truth is, you don't know. You just guess and hope for the best. So remember, at that point, just try to be honest and realistic, because the problem you create now will have to be solved by your future self, so try to be kind. Once the storyboard was finalized, it was time to make the puppets. I ordered a few things online in a craft store and used my tubes to create the characters. So the mouths are handmade with a clay called Thymosoft, which hardens when baked in the oven. So to make the character speak, you need multiple mouths, each for a different sound. I just googled mouth charts and found a few images for inspiration. I had 12 mouths in total, but really only used about 10. For the eyes, there are basic googly eyes that I pasted on an armature to be able to move both of them at once and easily remove them if necessary. This is complete DIY work. I tried several ways to make them until I found one that worked. Then I sculpted some eyelids, which are very important if you want to bring emotion to your characters and make them blink. I also cooked them on some eyes that almost melted, but it was to make them removable with sticky tack for the shooting. And they were very fragile and hard to remove. I broke a few in the process. It was a lot of fun to experiment and see what I could create, how to give life and personality to these tubes. At first I wanted them to have arms, but quickly realized it would be a nightmare to animate. And that was a wise decision.
Hello there.
Again, I hope you've seen the movie because I'm about to spoil something. So, last chance. For the most beloved character, the undying soap, I wanted to create a wise and old character. To make him alive was a very different approach. Besides the body that is actual soap, the rest was sculpted. The leg is cooked clay and only moves in one axis, and the arm is uncooked clay to stay soft so I could animate the finger. And finally, the head, probably the hardest thing I created for the movie. It took me 3 tries to get a good one. The first one was a test made of sticky tack, but it looked more like a monkey than a wise old character. The second one took me a while to sculpt, but I wasn't happy with the result. It was too round, so impossible to attach to the soap body. So for the last one, I sculpted it on a flat surface. And believe it or not, I was able to find a tutorial to sculpt a baby head on YouTube. You can really find anything on YouTube. Besides that, my main inspirations were Yoda, of course, and the creepy baby from Total Recall. Once finished, I cut it in half and baked it. Then I added the eyes and the lower jaw that were made out of sticky tack, so I could animate it. And that's how it turned out. Creepy and babyish, exactly what I wanted. The last step was sculpting the soap so the face and leg could fit properly. I attached them with a pin so it won't move, and it was pretty much ready. Stop! You haven't subscribed! You're so distracted! Well, if you're enjoying this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. It will help me a lot and it will keep you updated on my future projects. Animation in general need voices to be recorded ahead, and same goes for stop motion. Now, with internet, I could have found proper native English volunteer comedian to voice my characters. But where is the fun in all that? No, of course I wanted to do it. It was a way to challenge myself and explore my acting skills. So, I don't know how it turned out. I think I did okay. Maybe let me know in the comments below what you think of my English and my acting skills. But for sure, it was a lot of fun to do. I don't have much to show you here, but it's pretty straightforward. Just get a mic, record your voice again and again until you're happy with what you have, and that's it. Next step is mandatory in my opinion. An animatic is like a storyboard, but with the voices and the timing.
My shop. It was just raw. Look, he's getting away. Well, are you a cop or not?
Oh, yes, yes! Don't worry, sir, I got this!
This is the last step before shooting, so you can't neglect it. I actually did 2 animatics, one where I was filming myself acting the movie, so basically just like a kid playing with toys. So please don't judge me, I know it looks ridiculous. Here is the sample.
What's this? Oh my god, that's it! My time has come! I knew it! I'm empty! I can feel it!
No, don't say that.
You don't know for sure? No, it's hopeless. My kind is always the first one to go.
Well, I think my ego just died there, but you know, that was for the sake of science and the love of stop motion. Now the second one with the final voices and more or less the good framing I want for each shot.
What's this? Oh my god, that's it! My time has come! I knew it! I'm empty! I can feel it!
No, don't say that. You don't know for sure.
It could be something else.
Yeah. Oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god!
Now remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, the framing will change if you compare the animatics and the final movie. Of course there are changes, some characters are missing, etc. But it still gives you a very good idea to organize you ahead before the shooting. This video is taking so much time to make that I'm gonna have to split it into 2 parts, so make sure you subscribe to see part 2, where I will show you the actual shooting process and how the movie got screened in several theaters. I'll try not to spend 2 years to make part 2, so it should be out around next week. Thank you so much for watching and see you very soon.